Hey man, hey man, what's happening? It's Phil X. Man, I did. Life is crazy, you know. 1 week, you spent 4 days in Las Vegas at a Guitar Crazy, Joe Satriani's G4 experience, and then I'm in Cincinnati waiting to rehearse for a couple of Kurt Dimer gigs this weekend in Texas, and then one next week in Florida. And I just wanted to talk about G4 for a minute because it was unbelievable. I took my son Gage, who's also an aspiring guitar player, and he was blown away by the quality of. First of all, the lineup was pretty amazing. So many people there, but it's too much to not just talk about the three headliners, which was Steve Lukather, Peter Frampton, and Steve Morse. So, first of all, these guys aren't just guys walking around Earth like the rest of us. For instance, Steve Lukather, one of the most recorded guitar players on the planet, never hits a bad note, stupid, incredibly funny, and quite a storyteller. And he walks on stage for his talk and he says, I don't even know what I'm doing here. I'm the worst guy here. These guys are all better than me, something like that. I was like, you're out of your mind, man. Funny. And he'd talk about a lick and then he would play it flawlessly. Like even when he was fishing, he caught a fish every time. Unbelievable. And I had a good talk with him because we go way back. I don't know. It's funny when you meet one of your heroes, and we were talking, and he goes, "You know what I want?" I go, "What do you want?" He goes, "I want a little of what you got. Come on, give me a little of what you got." I'm like, "Oh yeah? Well, I'll give you a little X if you give me a little Luke." Moments like that really make for an amazing life, actually, as a musician, when you meet your heroes. And then I was talking to Steve Morse, and there was a song that I learned when I was a young guitar player called On the Pipe, one of his first solo record songs, On the Pipe. And I learned it one way, and a friend of mine learned it another way, and this is going way back. And I'm like, "Hey man, On the Pipe." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Can you play it?" And he goes, "Sure." So no amp, no nothing, just backstage before he goes on, and I'm like looking at his hands like this, and I'm like, I was right. Settling 30 or so year battle between me and my friend. But watching him do it in front of my face like that, I mean, I was like, you're in awe, you know, hanging out with these guys. And then, of course, Peter Frampton. And Peter Frampton was talking about, having a clean slate every time he walks on stage to solo. And I just want to say this. This was really important in his talk, because he has this disease that has claimed his leg, so he walks with a cane, and it's affecting his forearms and fingers. So he said, I know I can't do what I did, but I can make a few adjustments and make each note more important. And I got goosebumps. I really did. And he played later that night, and he played Feel Like I Do, and I feel like it was all there. The way he played, the way he sang. I was banging my head when the band was rocking, and I got goosebumps when he brought it down, and then he did the talk box, and it takes you back to when you first heard that on Frampton Comes Alive. And it's 47 years? I forget. It was the anniversary of its release. But I don't know, man. To be in company with guys like this. And this is just all tidbits. This is not a big deal. This is just tidbits. And there's so much more. And there was one solo that Eric Gales did that I literally, I'm buying this record. Which is what's supposed to happen when you go out and play. You play, someone hears your music, and they go and buy the record. So I went on iTunes and I bought it and listened to it on the way home, the drive back from Las Vegas to LA. And then just stuff like that, man. Joe was amazing. Joe Satriani was amazing. His band is amazing. I know Kenny, and now I know Brian Beller, his bass player, and met Ray, his keyboard player. All amazing musicians, all amazing guys. And then you're just walking around. This thing, it's like guitar village, where you're just walking around, and hey, it's Alex going like, hey buddy, how you doing? Hey, it's Neely Broche. What's happening, man? Good to see you. You know, I met Mateus Asado, and he said, I don't know if I should say nice to meet you or nice to see you, because I see you all the time. Which was funny. It makes you laugh, because you see these people on YouTube, so you kind of feel like you hang out a little bit. So now I know how people feel when they come up to me and they say, hey man, I feel like we hang out all the time because I watch your videos. And so just so you guys know, it happens on every level. You know, whether you're a pro or a beginner, or man, the in-between is vast as fuck. So keep playing, make videos, make them special, and do your thing, man. Do you, because everybody else is doing themselves. And you can tell who's got a fire and their own thing happening, and you can see a copycat from miles away. So do your own thing.